Welcome to Nebraska Preps Postgame with your hosts, Mike Sautter and Jacob Padilla.
Hi, everyone. Welcome into Nebraska Preps Postgame. Mike Sautter, Jacob Padilla here, breaking down everything that happened the first weekend of high school basketball in Nebraska, which there was a lot that happened.
We had how many game winners, a bunch of one-possession games down to the wire. We had teams on the fortunate end of that, and then turn around and have it happen to them. It's certainly been an exciting first week of a season we expect to be kind of all over the place.
Yeah, we talked about last week when we previewed things specifically in A. We're like, hey, any given night, and it kind of turned out like that
already. Already,
a couple of teams that we thought were amazing, or or not amazing, but going to be at the top took losses, right? And a couple of teams we thought had a chance to be good had big wins. Yeah. So I'm looking at you, Papillion-La Vista,
and we'll
in particular.
Talk about them pretty quickly if we want to dive into our coaches poll, which is live on our site now.
Yeah, coaches poll, first one. We didn't do a preseason one of the coaches poll.
But logistical issue. We got it there.
But the first one is live, and Omaha Westside starts out as one. I will tell you, as the person that compiles the coaches poll each week, it was close between Westside and Millard North. It was about 1 point off. So. Yeah. Westside had that one win against Bellevue East, the overmatched Bellevue East team in that game. And, Westside is outside of their point guard. Your 2, 3, 4, and 5 man are 6'5", 6'7",
6'7", 6'10" is basically what they got right now.
Yeah, that's insane. So they look like a small college team, or maybe even more than that. Yeah. Getting off the bus. So they definitely have the get off the bus look. Yeah. So they have that one win, dominant win. Not a lot to say about that. It'll heat up for them this week, starting this week though, going forward. But
we'll talk about what they're playing in once we get through some of this. But you mentioned Millard North right there with them, 2-0 start. Played really well, 58-40 win over Millard West. Major Monster, 14 points, 14 rebounds to lead a balanced effort in that one. And then followed that up with an even more impressive 68-44 win against Bellevue West, at Bellevue West, who we'll talk about in a moment.
It was at Millard North.
Oh, yeah, versus Bellevue West. Yeah. What do you see?
In that game, Bellevue West had that big win, the night before. Yeah. It's one of those deals where, Bellevue West has a very much so a lack of size, and it showed, and they have to hit shots, and they didn't that night. So it's one of those things where I will say this: Bailey from Millard North is a guy that had his first start, and he killed it.
23 points, 9 of 10 shooting,
or second start,
5 of 6 from 3. It's fantastic start, and it's a kid that's been with that program throughout. He's put in his time on the JV as a kind of a bench energy guy last year, and now he's getting a chance to be kind of a featured piece for them as a senior alongside the returning starters on that team.
It's weird nowadays, a kid just kind of sticking to the program and not jumping ship and going somewhere. Imagine that. Look, success can happen if you do that.
They've got a few guys like that.
They do.
But and obviously they're Trelly Aiken sideline for now, so that's a piece out of the lineup.
That's a big kind of piece for them.
But Jack Chambers, 16 points, 17 rebounds, 4 assists against Bellevue West.
Yeah.
So you talk about a team not a lot of size. He's a guy that can take advantage of that.
Yeah. He absolutely did. I mean, there was no stopping him on the boards. It was a total mismatch when it came to that. So Millard North, obviously squarely in the conversation. We said that at the beginning, and they're good. They just don't have the, Hunter Salas isn't walking through that door. St. Thomas isn't. Jason Green isn't. Max Merle isn't. But they're still a really solid team for high school basketball in 2025-26. They're very good. Coach Etz does a great job. They'll be there kind of all year. There definitely will be. There's a lot of depth on that team, too.
Yeah, and they got a big week going to Elkhorn South, but then going down to Kansas City, right, for taking on Pembroke Hill and Oak Park, a couple of teams down there.
Mav Hawkins.
Yeah, I was going to say, we know.
Pembroke Hill is committed to Vanderbilt.
Came up, played a summer ball up here, so kids are familiar with them.
Okay.
But, But so just another chance to go down and prove themselves. They kind of do this out-of-state deal every year for the last handful of years. And it's a good trip for the kids to go out and just play in a completely alien environment.
You're talking about like one overnight. That's fine. Yeah, no big deal.
Easy trip there. So that's the week for Millard North, who is at number 2. You mentioned Papillion-La Vista, and they are number 3. We talked about them as, hey, this team has a chance to make a big jump. Obviously, last year they made the state tournament as a surprise team, winning the district final to get in there. And, they no surprise.
2 big wins, close wins, too.
I
have a feeling they're going to play a lot of close games like that against, light competition. So
started, we were both there, 72-66 overtime win against Creighton Prep on opening night. And star of that game was Preston Avalon. Junior guard. Prep could not stay in front of him. Just kept getting downhill and finished. Knocked down a couple of big threes as well. Finished with 24 points, 8 boards, 4 assists, 3 steals. Only missed 3 shots the whole game.
He's very athletic.
Indeed. And again, guy that's off the bounce, can get downhill and can spray it out to shooters like Sam Boudreau and Cedric Williams, guys like that. And then Bryce Vignes, you and I are both fans of his, and he kind of was a quiet start to the game, but the second half started drawing fouls, ended up with like 9 points, 8 rebounds, something like that. So just got enough, like that. Two games in now, they have 2 bench points, so a lot is riding on the starting 5, but it's a pretty darn good starting 5.
Yeah, it's super solid.
Well balanced.
Yeah, and I mean, even like a guy that I talked about, I guess, last week and have for a while, is McCarty. Like, he had a pretty quiet first game, right? Yeah. Like, and so they're going to need him to kind of get it going, if you will. But Sam Boudreau stepped up, and Preston Avalon stepped up, and I guess that scoring absence, if you will, and did a nice job. So Coach Pope's team is pretty good. They're old, too, and experienced, and that's one of those things in I guess, college basketball, too, we're seeing. Older, experienced teams are kind of
a lot of juniors and seniors that played early for him and have a lot of experience, and now they're kind of ready to make that leap. They followed it up with a 71-69 win at Millard South. Again, just down the stretch, Millard South had some empty possessions. Papio hit some big shots to pull out the one possession win there. Again, 19 for Boudreau, which is what he had against Prep as well. But they had double-double, 15 and 10 from Vignes. They had 14 and 9 from Avalon. They had 9 and 8 from McCarty. Cedric Williams had 12 points. So just, again, balance, all 5 starters contributing, and pulled out a big win against Millard South, who we'll talk about momentarily. But, Papillion-La Vista, they're off to the start that we thought they might be able to. Scored some big wins early, build some confidence, and now they'll carry that forward with the AB early season tournament coming up. We'll talk about that, but that's what they have for this week.
North Star checks in at 4 after a loss to Southeast, which Southeast beat them. So I was questioning that a little bit, but hey, as far as the ranking, right? Like, it just
reacting to one result.
It's probably not okay.
Over the long, there's still some preseason bias and maybe, but impressive win for Southeast and those seniors who are
Southeast checks in at 5. Number 6. Prep is 5, Southeast is 6. So
but also, Southeast took that game very seriously. You could tell in their celebration. It meant a lot to them.
Oh, yeah. And again, it's all seniors leading the way for them, with Rowan Lambert, 16 points, 5 assists, hit 4-6 from 3. You had Grant Fredericks, who transferred back there, 15 points, 8 boards, 4 assists. He had the go-ahead bucket and then had the final rebound to seal the win as well. Prospetti McKendy had 13 points and 10 boards. J.D. Rock's length really made a difference when they went to zone there and hit some free throws down the stretch. Carter Chatlin hit a big 3 late for them. So they just had a lot of different guys. Javis Johnson, freshman, didn't have a great game, but he had a big bucket late for them. So just kind of a total team effort there for Southeast. On the North Star side of it, you had 21-4-4 from Jordan Castor.
She's going to give you that.
Yeah, Easton Schweitzer had 15, but not a whole lot outside of that.
Yeah, they need other people to step up.
Yeah, so Jaquise Fowler and Will Schaefer, those guys in particular, are capable of more than what they did in that game one, and I'm sure they'll bounce back. But, so Southeast, they've got Kearney and Columbus this week, and North Star has Grand Island, so they got some time to kind of continue figuring things out, they'll be all right. You mentioned Prep, 33 points from Cooper Knight in that loss to Papio. And he just did not get a whole lot of help. Ivan Bamazzi had a good game, but he was in foul trouble. That limited him, and then they didn't really get much else outside of that. And they are going to be without Torrin Carter-Brown, their starting point guard, for a bit.
My takeaway from that game was like they need to find some toughness fast.
Yep.
Which I think Coach Lukey can kind of get that done.
And they had a few guys who are just had brutally cold shooting days for what they're capable of. Like they'll be fine. They'll be better than what we saw in that first one. But that is a tough way to lose that opening night on your own court. But still a solid team there. Checking at 5, like you said.
They'll be fine. At
7, Bellevue West 1-1. And you mentioned got that big win against Norris down at Norris. Fantastic environment. Credit to all the coaches that are willing to do these these cross class, these going on the road, playing in like Bellevue West going down to Norris and playing in that place. Like that gym is fantastic. When it's a big game in there, the atmosphere is
a lot
incredible.
of people have never been from the Bellevue West people I talked to. They're like, that was great. Like it's like. A lot of people never been there before. And like, it's a campus. I'm like, So
credit for Coach Klein and them for taking that game and then going down there and they pulled it out. And in that, the loss to Millard North, 4-25 from 3.
Yeah.
In the win against Norris, who very good team, they went 14-23 from 3.
They have to make 8 to 12 threes a game to win.
Yes,
that's their formula.
Ultimately that's what it's going to be.
That's what they're going to have to do.
They're going to live and die by the 3. You'll get a little bit of penetration from some of the guards, Bryce Johnson Jr. Getting downhill, but it's going to be they're going to take a ton of threes. And in the 76-73 was the final because Keaton Melcher, game-winning 3, his 5th of the game, finished with 20 points. He went 5 and 9, and then Carson Schultz, the senior there, 6 of 7 from 3. Also had a steal and a little layup for Bunny to get to 20 as well, and then 12 points, 5 assists apiece for their 2-point guards in Morrow and Johnson. So that's how it has to look for them. We'll talk about Norris momentarily, but Bellevue West they're 7. They're going to up and down is what it is. Like that's how they're going to have to play. And then they're in the AB tournament, right? Yeah, as well. So that's what's next for them. At 8 is Lincoln Southwest, 2-0 start. They beat Lincoln East for a city win, and the Sanders twins that talked about how important they were going to be, they were both off. I don't think Micaiah scored. Isaiah wasn't efficient. Dakari Wilson scored 20. So that's going to be big for them, is having different guys step up, because then they bounce back to beat Elkhorn South 86-63. And Sanders had 27, Uzziah Sanders had 27, and Micaiah had 22. So back to kind of more what you're going to expect from those two this season. So big for Wilson to step up the way that he did to get them that first win when your stars weren't playing at the level they're capable of. And that's what you're going to have to do in a long season. And they got a tough one. They got Papio South on Friday, and then they go to Kearney on Saturday.
2 tough games there. Because Kearney won their first game. They scored 60-some points. I was like,
Elkhorn South, physical, they're going to be well coached with Drake out there.
60-plus point mark. I was like, all right, like got some offense out there. I'm just kidding.
At 9, Millard South. What an opening week for the Patriots. Just kind of the highs and lows, the joys of victory and the agony of defeat.
Game winner to beat Papio South at Papio South, and then lose by 1 against Papillion on your home court.
Yeah, by 2.
Are they a basketball school now?
North South. I don't think so.
But so 69-67 win at Papio South on a Carter Margheim game-winning putback. He had 22 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists. Journey Gulak had 14, and he's the guy I mentioned in the preview. Like, that's going to have to be big for them. And then Kobe Myers, 13 points, 6 boards, 6 assists, and they got 10 out of Brevin Myers as well. Yeah. And then 69-71, that loss to Papillion-La Vista. Again, we talked about how impressive they've been. Margheim, 28 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. Great individual game, but Myers, 13 points, 6 boards, 4 assists, and then Gerlach had 12 points and 3 assists. But defensively, they've got a figure some things out, particularly with kind of Margheim as the back line of that. It's got to be they got some work to do on that end. It's North South is a team that's going to be. They'll be fine. They'll be there in every game.
They're definitely going to be in the conversation. When we get towards the end of the year, they'll be squarely in that conversation.
10 is Omaha Central. You saw them handle Omaha North in the first game of the OPS Invite. I'm going to see them tonight as we record this on Monday against Westview in the semis of that OPS.
Game, by the way, it'll be packed in there. You better get there early.
Austin and I are both. We were just talking. He was asking me like parking, like where do you go in the gym? Good
luck, bud. It's going to be. Get there. Seriously, get there early.
It's a big game.
There's a girls' game before that.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
So it's going to take struggle. Central.
And
Defensively, they were lights out. They were great. Very good. Lennox Haynes had a big game. Yasir Grixby had a big game. Evan Rogers had a big game. I thought all those guys played well. Their depth, it showed too. Just rotating guys, and they forced. Omaha North was 3 of 23 in the first half from the field, and North had 16 turnovers. Some of those were forced, some of those weren't. But Coach Chubbuck has a nice team.
You know how they're going to play.
Yeah, Coach Chubbuck has a nice team. They heated them up too. They started just right out of the gate, just pressing, and they got a nice team. Central squarely, if you're talking about the best Omaha public schools teams, we'll find out, I guess, tonight which one may be it. So they're definitely in that conversation. And as the season goes on, if they can stay level, which Chubbuck kind of is very level when it comes to stuff like that, I think they're going to be pretty good. Tough to beat, especially at home. That's just that environment's it's the best. If it's rocking a little bit and there's people, if it's packed in there, it's fun. It's fun, and it was for that North game. So
looking forward to that one against Westview, and then finally Papillion-La South did receive votes as well.
And we need to things we just took that loss, but Levi Webb was awesome.
That's why I mentioned we need to highlight the start that he's gotten off to in the win against Millard South. 26 points, 5 boards, 4 steals, 3 assists, 12 of 19 from the field. Or the loss to Millard South, rather. And then in the win over Elkhorn North, 32. Hit the game winner, 34 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 12 of 18 from the field. And we talked about they
could not stop him. Yeah. I was at that Elkhorn North Papillion-La, and he was just getting whatever he wanted. All on the offensive end. He is a certified. Levi Webb is a certified bucket. He is absolutely a bucket.
Yeah. And they got 18 out of Connor Falkenberg in the first game and 16 in the second. And that's the guy that you and I highlighted in the preseason. He's got to be a dude for them to
he's got some size off there for him too. He
can shoot it.
He was good. He can definitely step out and hit a 3. Yeah. That's a nice stretchy guy that can take advantage of his skill set.
Yeah. So if those guys continue to play like that, they're going to be competitive all season long. You just got to kind of figure some things find a third scorer, maybe defensively kind of figure some things out a little bit so that you're not giving up 70. But they'll be in the mix with Webb playing at the level that he's at. So that's through Class A.
Class B, Norris, we talked about that Bellevue West game is great.
Yeah. So, thing to note, they opened the season with a 108-37 win at Waverly.
Yes.
They went 18 of 28 from 3 in that game. They had 90 in the first 3 quarters. Yeah. I don't know how that's even possible in a high school game. But
we were, we were talking okay, they have 90 through 3 quarters. How are they going to keep this under 100? You can't. It's virtually impossible. They were lights out. They were awesome.
Chris Garner Jr. 23 points. McCoy Folkerts added 22. I think he had 6 threes. And then they followed it up with the loss against Bellevue West. Garner had 22 in that one. They had 14 from Cooper Rice, 5 of 5 from the field, 11 from Folkerts. Grayson Addison had a really good game in the first one. Had 17, I think, off the bench as a junior there. Just kind of with Rice and Addison kind of showing off their depth. One thing I will note, Evan Greenfield banged up his knee at the start of the Waverly game, and it was clearly he was not at full strength in either of those games. He only had 2 points against Waverly, and then struggled a little bit against Bellevue West. And also, Shane Holland isn't back yet from his football injury, and he would probably be their fifth starter and will be a significant impact player for them, one of their better defenders. Yeah, Norris took that early season loss, but I think they're going to be just fine as they get healthier and kind of settle in. Got to figure some things out defensively. They, I think they maybe fell asleep at some times on some assignments against Bellevue West, let shooters that are obviously hot get too many open looks, so they'll have to work through that. But from a talent standpoint and cohesiveness, they're going to be just fine. Yeah, and there's a reason they're still number one.
Yeah. And then Skutt checks in at number 2.
Beat Millard West.
What?
They beat Millard West.
Yeah. So
got an early Class A win there.
Yeah, Skutt is going to be very good. George Zeball's stud. Yeah. So, like, big size there. So, obviously, thoughts out to Skutt and that community and Coach Juergens and his daughter and all that. So, going through a lot right now with that team. And don't have your head coach who brings intensity and all that stuff, but still able to get a win certainly help.
Yeah. Scottsbluff at 3, taking care of business. Riley Meininger is off to a great start to the season. Wahoo at 4, and they opened the season with a win over Bennington and really impressive defensive. Really impressive defensive performance for the Warriors there. I'm planning to go to Wahoo at Norris on Tuesday. I think that's going to be
a game.
1 versus 4 right now in our class people. So and obviously again atmosphere, athletes, those two is always fun.
Should be a fast-paced game.
Yeah. Platteview at 5, 2-0, and that's because they beat Elkhorn North and wasn't on a buzzer beater game winner. Yeah. They just beat them. 65-58 was the final there. Elkhorn North went 6-37 from 3.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
No, if you, at a certain point you've got to figure out a different way to win there. Elkhorn North 0-2 start. Obviously, they're right there with Papillion South. That's not
to be quite honest. They should have beat Papillion South.
Well, Nike Orgable gave them the lead with 10 seconds left or whatever.
I'm just saying. They were in control the whole game except for the last 4 minutes. Yeah.
So Elkhorn North. Clearly still talented, but also clearly has some things to work through. Carter Peterson off to a great start. He's a guy that you and I kind of like, ooh, he's got a chance.
I was like, who's this guy?
Really athletic player to kind of, that's not necessarily like Nike Orgable, Sun Podcast, not necessarily. He's a nice compliment to the way that those guys play, adding some length and athleticism out there. But they've got Bennington Friday, so they got to kind of turn it around quick and figure things out.
Would be good too.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I've got Nebraska volleyball. So otherwise, I would definitely be there.
It's one of my game of the week options this week. So the girls' game.
Yeah. So Gretna East at 7. Drake Brown had a great opening game, even though it didn't make a bunch of threes, but did everything else. Bennington at 8 bounced back. They got a win, 1-1. Gretna 1-1.
Handled the Elkhorn and then scored 23
against
12.
DC West.
It's close to 12.
Thing about Gretna, so Brantley Hack went off for over 30 in their first game, just committed to Morningside, and then Trevin Wilkins had 21 of their 23 against DC West. So like they've got 2 guys there that are capable of
finding
putting you 20 or 30 on any given night. It's just we've got Griffin Snyder kind of settling in and being a nice piece there, but they got to. Can't go an entire game with 2 points from your supporting cast.
Yeah, that is
that's not going to work. So, but they're all right. They've got some pieces there. And then Lincoln Pius X. They were
tough
with
trip.
The Lincoln teams down.
Yeah,
Kansas
one
City.
of the Lincoln teams that went to Kansas City and played tough schedule there too. So, and then Aurora receiving votes. So quickly, let's run through C1. Ogallala starts the season, or first, I guess, after the first weekend. Ogallala is the number 1 overall team.
Undefeated last year until Sawyer Smith's injury. He's back.
Feel good about that. Ashland Greenwood is 2. Concordia's 3. Donovan Trumbull's 4. That's kind of how we pieces back. How we kind of thought. And then Auburn at 5. DC
Ryan
West.
Gunther is a name to know for Auburn.
Ryan Gunther.
He's just a sophomore. He's got a chance to be pretty impressive for them.
DC West at 6. Adams Central went 1-1. Is at 7, and Sydney 0-2 is it number
How'd they
8?
get in here?
I don't know.
Awesome cooking the books over here.
No, I think there's still some football.
Kaiser's still
there's
hurt.
Lingering injuries. They didn't really get ready for that Shadron nor Gearing matchup, but the bad part about it is that those are 2 games that they're going to need later on in the season as well. They will face those teams again, but it's kind of a rough start, but that's what you get for playing in the state final. Oh no, what a problem.
And Syracuse building off the strong football season.
Will Jansen's a key part of their basketball team, just as like it was on football.
Yeah, so Syracuse is at 9, and then Bridgeport is at 10. So Grand Island Central Catholic is receiving votes. I expect them to likely move up at some point. I think they're going to be pretty good, and then Cozad and Lincoln Lutheran.
It's still a lot to figure out in that class, for sure. A lot of teams beating each other.
From like 7 on down, you're kind of we'll see. I feel really good about that top, 4, 5, 6. Like I feel very good about it. And then Adams Central, obviously, I think has a chance to kind of move up. Got to get some help there though too. So C2.
Archbishop Bergen at the top.
Yeah.
They've got Gavin Baker back. They've got Mooney. They've got Sheets. Kind of the whole core from last year.
Very good.
And Baker's off to a great start to the season. He's a really good player.
Yeah. And Johnson Brock, which it feels really weird to say Johnson Brock is a Class C anything.
Yeah.
But they're C2 this year. There's been a lot of movement this year from like the teams you traditionally thought were, Class D or C2 or C1 or whatever. There's been a ton of movement. Like Lincoln Lutheran is one of those that moved up to C1. So a lot of movement with that. But Johnson Brock is 1-0 because they went to Lincoln Christian and won that game. And then Freeman is traditionally, C2 strong. And North Bend Central, remember like a handful of years ago, they were pretty good in boys basketball. Looked to be pretty good again this year. At number 4. So then UTAN, Cross County, Exeter, Milligan, Friend, EMF, Sandy Creek. Sandy Creek might be really good, to be honest. Like, when I say really good, I think they could be really good in basketball. Just wait until they kind of get into it. And then DCS is at 9 and Alma is at 10. So, like, 2 8-man power-ish football teams there in C2. So that's what I mean. It's just kind of odd for that. And then bunch of receiving votes.
You can
Cedar Catholic
look on the poll.
It is a outside of that top, through 2, 3. It's pretty open, I think. So in that, and then D2 Howes Dodge,
Chase Luther at 30 in their last game.
Howes Dodge
bunch of threes.
Clearly the favorite, I think, in Class D1. That's just I think they're pretty locked in there. And McCool Junction is another one. Twin
Loop. They've got Yaya Harris kind of leading the way, sophomore there. McCool Junction's got the McDonald's. Yeah. And then Elm Creek, Quinn Oberg back. Was one of the most productive players in the state last year, and he's back to
number
lead
of teams receiving votes on down in that. And then St. Mary's in D2.
And St. Mary's, Gage Hedstrom is out. He got banged up at the end of the football season. Hopefully,
still 2-0.
Hopefully. But added Lane Bybee, who was a good basketball player as well, that helped them in football. Ben Barlow's off to a great start to the season. Without missing their best player, but they haven't missed a beat.
And I do think D2 we feel really good about. St. Mary's, why not? Archangels being the teams in that group. So, and Deschler's in there at 6.
2-0 start.
Deschler. Yeah, and Fall City Sacred Heart kind of maybe they turn into a basketball school. I'm just saying it's been a tough couple years on the football field.
It's a very strong run.
Yeah. Okay. Shout outs, or do you want to talk girls a little bit?
So we mentioned this week we got the AB early season tournament. You've got
the OPS Jamboree is wrapping up, so semifinals on Monday, finals on Wednesday. We'll see who ends up winning. The biggest game in the semis is clearly Westview and Central. And then on the girls' side, Central plays Benson too, so it's at Benson. So that one's pretty interesting, I think, on the girls' side as far as that tournament. But the biggest kind of thing, and it started last year, is pretty sweet, is the AB early season showdown in boys. So one side of the bracket, there's 8 teams. One side of the bracket is Class A. The bottom half is Class B. And it's Bellevue West, Papillion-La Vista is the first game on Thursday. I guess they're I wouldn't.
Yeah, they're all at the same time.
They're all at the same time. But Bellevue West, Papillion-La Vista is a matchup, and then Westside and Lincoln East.
That's
is
the A half
on the A half, and then the bottom half is pretty sweet, I think. Pius is hosting Gretna East. Big game early there, and then Skutt and Gretna at Gretna is the other side. So
and then you'll bracket it out. The two B winners will play each other. The two A winners will play each other, and then the winner from there will play for the championship.
So you would assume Westside beats Lincoln East at Lincoln East. So then first real test here would be Papillion-La Bell West winner. So it's kind of interesting. And then
so that's Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, Last year it was in the final. It was at Bellevue West. Was it Bell West and Skutt? I can't remember. I know it was Skutt. I know it was Skutt, but I can't remember if it was Westside or Bell West on the boys' side.
I think it was. Yeah, I had to leave.
I can't remember. I was there.
I think it was Westside.
Yeah.
But so at Westside this year the final will be, and then the girls' tournament same matchup, same everything.
Yeah.
Just going on.
Girls' side. So it's pretty neat, right? So I think it's pretty good.
The girls' championship will be at Bell West this year.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the big thing on the schedule this week, in addition to some of the other matchups that we already talked about.
Huge, I think, huge girls matchup. This week is Thursday night, and it is Millard West at Omaha North. I think that's a massive game. It's a huge matchup, especially early. Yeah. We'll see how good North is, right? Like right away. I mean, they haven't played. So it's a nice early test for what people think is the most talented team in the state and in Omaha North on the girls' side and in Class A.
Yeah. I'll save the shout-outs for next week. We had a lot to get over in this one. Check out my Twitter account. I'll have the extensive list up there at some point at Jacob Padilla _. But yeah, just it's good to be back into hoop season, and it's going to be fun following this all season long.
Yeah, it's going to be wild. I think it's kind of fun because you just don't know. It makes you want to go to more games. Go to more games, people. Go to games. Go to games.
What he said.
Yeah. Mike Sautter, Jacob Padilla, that'll do it for Nebraska Prep Postgame.
A Hurrdat Sports Network production.